Do you have a scrap basket that is overflowing? Do you want to use every bit of that fabulous fabric? Today I'm going to show you my favorite blocks made from leftover half square triangles. I'm Andy and this is True Blue Quilts, a place to enjoy, experiment, and excel as you quilt. Like and share this video with all your quilting friends. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you are notified when a new quilting tutorial comes out. If you have made a quilt, you probably have some scraps. Most of the quilters I know save their scraps with the intention of making more projects with all those leftover bits and pieces. Today we are going to start a scrappy project that uses the leftover triangles that you get when you trim your binding strips. So you've finished one project, you're ready to move on to the next. The process is simple. Save those pieces, pair them up with contrasting colors, and sew them together in between other blocks. And soon you'll have enough units together to make a whole new project. It helps if you spend a few minutes and organize your scraps by color. Choose a consistent color to mix in with all the other scrap triangles. And then when you have 4 similar units, you can piece them together in a pinwheel. And pretty soon you would have enough to make a whole rainbow quilt. If you are using leftover binding triangles, the half square triangle units will end up pretty small. I generally don't like to piece with such tiny units, so I changed my sewing a little bit. Rather than sewing the triangles together on the long side to make a half square triangle block, I turned them and sewed the short side, and then I was able to pair these units together and end up with an hourglass block. So I've got a little more usable fabric, a slightly larger unit when I'm finished sewing my half square triangle pieces together. I've been making these hourglass units for a while. The box is getting pretty full, so I think I'm ready to put these together in a quilt. I think a broken dishes layout will be fun. But I may put the hourglass blocks together in bigger units and use those as the center of some scrappy stars. So stay tuned for that design coming soon. When I was making the Bonnie Hunter mystery quilt a few years ago, she had this unit as one of the clues. It was a solid square and then 3 half square triangle units. And I fell in love with this block. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's, you know, the odd number of triangles that keeps your interest, but it just is a great little block. And I now group all of my half square triangle scrap blocks in sets of 3 so that I can make these adorable little blocks. And I don't have a plan for them yet. They're just a happy little collection there in the corner of my sewing room. So so many things that you can do with half square triangles. You can check out my 9-patch sampler to see some block designs that use half square triangles, and any of those would look great as a scrappy quilt. I'd love to know what your favorite project is to use up those leftover pieces. Check out these tutorials featuring more of my favorite classic quilt blocks. I will be back next week with more custom free motion quilting designs. Happy stitching!